Okay, I'll start.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Video can
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning. Can I introduce myself first? As you all can see, my name is Upul Gamage. I'm from Sri Lanka. I'm attached to two institutions in Sri Lanka. One is the Open University of Sri Lanka as a visiting academic, and also the other one is Orient Academy, that is a private university college. I do head the Department of Language and Soft Skills Training. My topic is today, eloquence in first language as an enabling factor of speaking second language. This is let me explain the background of the research first. This is an action research which was executed in a rural district of Sri Lanka. The district is Hambantota. That is far away from the capital city, from Colombo. And this is a special English training program where they had focused rural students, right? I took the sample, that was about 44 students. Before starting my presentation, I'd love to introduce the concepts which are in my presentation. The first one is first language, second language, language eloquence. Those concepts may be very helpful to understand the presentation. First language is a language which we are acquiring first from our birth, or else let us say that is the language which we are acquiring during the sensitive period. And the second language is a language that we are studying after the first language. In Sri Lanka, of course, there are two major official languages. Those are Sinhala and Tamil. For Sinhala speakers, probably Tamil or English, those are the second languages. Even Tamil speakers, English and Sinhala are the second languages. And then first language eloquence I have defined over here. That is the if you are a fluent or a person speaker in the native language, or else the art or manner of such speech can be introduced as the first language eloquence. If a person has the ability to debate fluently using the mother tongue, or has shown competitive abilities of oratorical in his own language, that can be introduced as first language eloquence, right? And objectives of the research. As an English trainer in Sri Lanka, I have been working with rural students for about 7-8 years. I have been experiencing some certain unique matters with them. One of them is I found that there are some students who are acquiring conversational English very fast in comparison to the others. So I want to find out the reasons behind this particular reason of these fast learners. So that I kept on eye for a long time to understand why these people are acquiring conversational English in very fast in comparing to others. So I executed several research works. Out of those, one is this. So this is the method of data collection that I applied over there. That was the major data collection method was participatory observation. In addition to that, I used record monitoring as well as method of data verifying. And well, this is how I executed the research. We had in our sample 84 rural students who were studying English. Their first language was Sinhala, and there were only one student who represented the Tamil community. And when we recruited them into the program, I checked their first language eloquence through their school level achievements, right? Some of them had attended for debates, oratorical competitions in the school. So I checked their first language eloquence to those abilities. And then I compared their skills with the marks that they scored during the continuous assessments, right? We had several assessments. There were 3 during the program and end of the program. When I compare them, initially we identified the participants who had their oratorical ability and debating skills, and compare the same with the marks that they scored at the continuous conversational test of this English program. right? Then I found that there were 21% of the total participants had their first language eloquence. In the sense, out of 84 students, there were 21% who had their oratorical ability, debating ability. So that is the measurement that I took into consideration as their first language eloquence. Then all these in the sense 21% of these people had reached to more than 55 marks at the continuous assessments, right? And also I found that out of 21%, there were 72 who had reached more than 70% of the marks at the continuous assessments, right? Then I decided, my conclusion is, it was found that there is a very positive, considerable relationship in between the first language eloquence and learning conversational English as a second language, right? These are the steps. First, when we recruit them into the program, I checked their oratorical ability, debating skills, and so forth, in order to understand their first language eloquence, right? They were fluent speakers in their first language. As a percentage, there were 21% students out of 84 participants who had their first language eloquence. Those 21% students out of 21, I found that 50, as I showed you earlier, all of these 21% people had reached to 55% of marks at the continuous assessments. That is only for conversational abilities, not for written skills. Then again, out of 21%, 72%, right, who had reached, out of 21%, there were 72% who had reached to 70 marks, more than 70 marks. There were 90, 95, 85, and so on, right? And also, we need to do a further research in order to understand the other factors, because this must be cross-checked to another similar research, as there were some participants who did not have any significant eloquence in first language but improved their English conversational ability through this English program, unique English program. But as a percentage, that is immaterial, right? But we have to check that as well. And also, this is my recommendation. This may be very helpful for English language teachers to plan out their activities, understanding their students in the classroom. Because in Sri Lanka, we have a lot of research works with reference to second language learning. They have studied and they have come up with a lot of theories with reference to learn relevant matters such as their motivation, their personality, their attitude, their aptitude. But it is quite difficult to find the research on this particular area looking at their first language eloquence and the relationship between first language eloquence and their second language learning. So that this is my recommendation for future teachers in Sri Lanka or wherever the place. If they can understand the first language eloquence of the participants, I'm sure that there's a relationship between the first language eloquence and second language learning. Thank you very much. You can raise any question, then I'll be answering. And also I beg your pardon, when you raise questions, if you can speak with slow, I may be able to understand you exactly. Thank you very much. Yes.
Hi. I was just checking the scoring grading system in Sri Lanka. So you said over 71% was gained for those 21 students. They scored over 70. So 70% is A grade, 70 plus. So compared to British system and American system?
Very good. That's a very good question. In Sri Lanka, we have a problem in teaching English because there are people who are following American accent and American traditions in the sense grammar, spellings and all that. And also there are some people who are following British way. And we did not have particular method over there to check whether that is British or American. The Sri Lankan method, in the sense, now you can understand how I am pronouncing. My pronunciation is Sri Lankan, right? That is Sri Lankan accent. The way that I am pronouncing is not either British or American.
So
Thank you.
That's great.
Any more questions, please?
Did you have something other than debating for thinking about eloquence, or was it based
Well,
only on debate?
I'll answer. Thank you very much. Only two ways. One is their oratorical ability. The other one is their debating skills. The way that I understood is I checked their school level certifications. That is the only way that I had witnesses. I asked them to bring their collection of certificates, and I went through their certifications. Then I understood there were some students who had participated for debates and oratorical competitions. Only two ways.
Okay.
Any more questions, please? Yeah.
So what are the implications for your findings in the classroom then?
Yes, that is what
question
I
you were
stressed
doing?
over here. The implication is this, well, what I'm trying to put forward is there's a positive relationship in between first language eloquence and the second language learning. So it is very important for the people who are teaching English as second language in order to plan out their lessons with the students, right? So, because in the classroom we can apply peer learning and a lot of methods. In planning out your teaching sessions, this will be very helpful. Yes, please.
Would it be possible to get an email of your presentation? Do you?
Yes, sure. I'll send you the full paper.
That would be
Right,
great.
okay.
Give you my email.
Yeah, please.
Well, if people have a low level of eloquence in their first language,
Yeah.
then is it reasonable to expect them to become good
Sure.
speakers in a second language or not?
Definitely,
or
because
what?
there may be other reasons. For an example, suppose that there's a person, his first language eloquence is very low, but he may have some other reasons to study conversational English. Let us say that his aptitude, let us say that his personality, some other reasons. There are a lot of research findings on those areas. The internal motivation, this is one reason. There may be other reasons. Yeah.
So he may be a better speaker in a second language.
Sorry?
So he may be a very good speaker in a second language,
Yes.
but a poor speaker in the
Yeah.
first language.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for your listening.
Yes, I'm not going to check my presentations over. No, I just realized we may have different kinds of windows.